What is going on YouTube? Just helping you out here. And for this video, I'm going to be unboxing the Humixx crystal clear phone case for the Samsung Galaxy S21. Once I have used this product for a decent bit of time, I will likely make a review video where I discuss the details of the product and ultimately share my experience with it. Alright, let's get right into it. So as always, I like to get started with the packaging, and I first want to say that this box feels very light. It actually almost feels like there's nothing inside of it, so the case itself should be pretty light, and it shouldn't really increase the weight of your phone. Now this box does feel pretty smooth. It has a nice finish on it, so it's definitely nicer than an average box, but I wouldn't say it's anything over the top. Now on the front here, it is pretty simple. In the top left corner, it says that it is a cell phone case, and they claim to have strong protection. Over here on the right, we have a Humixx logo and lettering on this little black banner. Right here, we have a digital sketch of the actual product, but it looks like it is for two different devices. And then finally down here, there's a little slogan that says simple and protect. Now I will say that I do like the front of this box. I like when companies keep it simple. So in general, I like to see what the product is, some sort of image or sketch of what the product looks like, and then maybe a couple important specs about the product. Alright, so if we go ahead and move to the top, you'll see it says simple and protect again up there. If we move on to the left, we have a Humixx logo. To the right, another Humixx logo. On the bottom, there's nothing down there. So then if we move on to the back, you'll see up top, again, we have a Humixx logo and lettering. And then down here, it gives some information about the company, their support email, their website, some trademark information, where it was made, and a couple other pieces of information. And then finally down here on this sticker, it tells you what particular phone this product was made for. Okay, so overall on the packaging here, I think they did a pretty good job. The only thing that I don't like is that I wish the back had a little more detail on it. Maybe some specs about the product, like the weight, maybe some dimensions or any certifications that it has. Okay, so that's enough about the package, and now I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I'm going to go ahead and set this box off to the side. Okay, so it looks like we have a little sleeve here, and you'll notice that there's this little tab right here, and that was actually really helpful to pull this whole thing out of the box, so I'm really happy they included that. Typically small boxes like that, it can be pretty tough to get these things out because you really have to dig your fingers in there, and I've actually cut myself several times trying to open boxes like that, or at least had some sort of pain or frustration trying to get them out. So I'm really glad they included that. You may be saying, okay, this is like an extra piece of something that isn't really necessary, but it looks like it is made out of a recyclable material, so I don't really have any issue that they included this. But right now I'm going to go ahead and set that off to the side. And now you'll see we have the phone case contained in this little pouch. This does feel like it is made out of some sort of plastic material, so it's likely not recyclable. So you may be saying this isn't the most sustainable thing to include, but at the same time, it does kind of protect the case during shipping and handling. Maybe a plastic bag isn't the best way to do this, but I do think there needs to be some sort of protective layer to make sure that nothing happens to the product. Okay, so you'll see there is a little air hole right here, and again, it does say this is made in China. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the pouch. And I'm just going to go ahead and set the pouch off to the side. Alright, so here we have the actual product, and you'll notice that it is pretty crystal clear as the name suggests. Going back to my initial comment about the box feeling really light, this thing does feel super light. Like I actually almost feel like I'm holding nothing. So this most certainly will not add much weight to your phone. Now, if we take a look at the front here, this right here is a little rough and grippy. So that'll allow your phone to stay in place when it's inside the case. It may be tough to see, but you can sort of see that rough pattern around the reflection of the lights. And you'll also notice there's a cutout here for the flash and then a big one here for the cameras. Now if we go ahead and take a look at the top, here you'll see we have two cutouts. One of these is for a microphone and one of them is for a speaker. Now if we move to the right a little bit, you'll see a little bit of an outline here, and that's because these corners are a little bit more reinforced than the rest of the edges. It actually isn't really thicker than any other part of the case. It more just sticks out, which I'm guessing directs more of the impact to the case rather than the phone if you are to drop your phone on the corner. So it's nice to see that Humixx considered that and made these areas a bit stronger. Now if we move over to this edge here, you'll see that we have spots here for the volume buttons and then also the power button, but I do want to note that there aren't any cutouts here. These areas are just formed a little bit different, so it should be a bit easier to push these buttons. And if I just look at it from this angle here, you can see they stick out a little bit. Okay, now if you move on to the bottom, I just quickly want to note that if you look through this charging hole right here, you can actually see the rough pattern on the inside of the case a lot better than you could before. Okay, so back on track here, you'll notice that again, this corner is reinforced. Right here we have another cutout, and that's for the speaker. This one is for the charging port and a microphone. And then again, this corner is reinforced. And now if we move over to this edge here, you'll see that there's nothing special. Now if we move on to the back, this is a bit smooth, unlike the inside of the case. So one thing I'm going to be watching out for is whether or not this is too smooth to the point where it feels like my phone will slip out of my hand or something like that. And now if we take a closer look at these cutouts up here, you can see there's a little lip right there on the camera cutout, and that's to give the cameras a little extra protection. So if you were to drop your phone with the back facing down, there would be a lower chance that your cameras would sustain any damage. Now, each of these edges does feel like it has a decent thickness to it, so it should have a decent bit of protection for your device. And then I also want to note that they kind of curve outward a little bit, so if you have your phone in here, the edges of the case should actually hang over the screen. So if you were to drop your phone face down, most of the impact should go to the case and not your screen. Now, the last thing that I want to mention is the flexibility of the case. So if you were to twist it like this, you can see that it does twist a bit, but if you try to bend it up or down like this, or even side to side, there is a bit more resistance because of how thick these sides are. Alright, so overall we have the box that everything came in. We have this little sleeve that made it easier to pull things out of the box. Here we have that little protective bag, and then finally we have the actual phone case. Alright, so that's about it for this unboxing. Feel free to check out all our other unboxing videos in the playlist in the top left corner. If you enjoyed this one, please drop a like. Leave a comment if you have any questions or an idea for a future video. Feel free to follow my Instagram and TikTok in the description below. And lastly, please don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends about my channel so I can grow and help more of you guys out. I'm just helping you out. See you in the next video.